It's time for your Low Country real estate market update. It's the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. Brian is one of the top 1% real estate agents in Charleston. Find him online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-400-8009. Now, broadcasting from the WTMA studios, here's your host, Brian Beatty.
Good morning, Charleston, and welcome to another edition of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. 10 years I've been on this program, helping you guys better understand the real estate market, sharing my experiences with you as somebody that still owns and operates and sells real estate on a daily basis. I've been doing it for 17 years here locally in Charleston. About 1,300 properties sold, about $1 billion worth of real estate represented here locally. So I share my experiences with you so that you understand what's going on in our little corner of the world, what's happening bigger picture economically from a housing standpoint. And then I talk a lot about just the process. You know, if you're going to buy or sell a house, I want you to understand how to go about this process as efficiently, as productively, as profitably as possible so that you are an informed consumer and you get what you want out of this very serious transaction, right? For a lot of folks, that's the most money they're going to spend. It's the most money they're going to make is through their wealth in real estate, aside from just going to their day job and trading time for money. So it's an important topic, and I appreciate those of you that listen to this program. Now, I'm going to talk about buying a house really start to finish today. That's the goal. And I think I can get through that in time. It's, you know, weather's been a little nasty. I'm a little congested. We'll deal with it. We'll get through it together. But if at any point in time you're like, hey, you know what, that's a good point, or I have questions on that, or I'd like to learn more about that, really anything real estate related for that matter, feel free to reach out to me. My number is 843-800-0065. That's 843-800-0065, or check us out online. Our website is listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. A lot of great info on there. Plenty to do. Take a look at what's for sale, what we have for sale, what we've sold, how we sell our properties. Hundreds and hundreds of videos on places like YouTube, or you can listen to our podcast on iTunes or Spotify, Google Play. Just we're out there. You can find us if you look for us. But without any further ado, let's get into this. Let's talk about, because we talk a lot about the seller side of the equation on this program, and so we're going to just flip it around a little bit. We're going to talk about buying a house, specifically about buying a house in this type of market right now, because that's the key. So many people have concerns and questions and hesitations about not just the market in Charleston, but about buying in this market right now. Now, we have some really encouraging news this week, which is that interest rates came down below 6%. We're now in the 5s. And it came after some pretty encouraging news stating that we have done a somewhat decent job at curbing inflation, although it still remains high, which is what Powell came out and said this week. And then, of course, we had a bunch of things happen. Housing-related stocks rallied and shot up, and it was a nice little pick-me-up that we felt like the market kind of needed. But again, it depends on who you ask or who you're rooting for. Are you rooting for the sellers? Are you rooting for the buyers? What's good for one might not be so great for the other. And let's be honest, for the past decade, it's been challenging to be a buyer in this market, especially over the course of the past 2 years. You could have gotten away with buying something and having a really low monthly payment because interest rates were so low, but then you had to, battle the other buyers in the front yard, and whoever's left standing gets the house. I mean, that's kind of how it felt. So with this change in the dynamics of the market, with this kind of pullback in demand, which is largely due to just affordability, it's an interesting time for buyers to be entering the market and using some of that to their advantage. So I want to talk about, first of all, like the three different kind of stages that people go through that we've developed when this is, I'll use some language, some nomenclature, if you will, that we as a team, a real estate team use, because different people in different categories need different things. Like as an example, you're going to hear a commercial if you regularly listen to, WTMA throughout the day, or maybe The Wolf, talking about how it's so important that sellers have a variety of options when they work with agents to sell their house. It's just the whole standard, new year, new market, same old marketing plan just is not going to be as effective. I'm not saying it can't be effective, but you as a seller want options. If you want to save some money, you don't need all the frills, all the bells and whistles, then let's save you some money. Let's do it at a lower commission. If, on the other hand, you want the red carpet rolled out for you and you want the true, everything that we can do, really let us flex our muscle and show you how much we can market your home and what the results are going to look like, which is obviously you selling your home for more money. We can do that too, and everything in between. But with a buyer, they don't get access to as many quote unquote incentives as sellers do. Now, I will say on our team, we realize that we've addressed that. We've got a VIP buyer program that says, hey, if you work with us, we're going to do all of these extra things to identify properties for you. We're going to go out into the market and find what we call shadow inventory for you. And we're going to get to this stuff in just a little bit, but I think it's important to note that, if you're a buyer out there and you want to purchase a home, there are plenty of incentives that can apply. You just have to have a conversation with somebody that offers those types of things to see what might work best for you. But I think gone are the days of an agent just setting somebody up on some sort of MLS-based search, right? Hey, you tell me what you like, your bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, location, price range, and I'll create this search for you in the MLS so that each time a new property hits the market, you'll be notified. And then if you see something you like, just let me know and I'll go and I'll show it to you. We've talked about this on this program before, and we're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of those different things that I just mentioned. But I think you as buyers in this market right now deserve to be working with somebody that can go the extra mile for you, rather than be just the, basic, I'm going to pass the buck to the buyer to let them tell me what they want to see and when they want to see it. And whenever that happens, I'll go and I'll open up the door for them. And then when they see something they like, then we can get, connected with the lender and hope that everything's okay there. And then I'll write an offer based on what they want to pay. And it just, it can work and it's fine. You just need to be aware that there are other ways of doing things. There is more out there. In some instances, in fact, probably in many instances, the grass actually is greener on the other side. So let's talk about these three different kind of phases that people go through. And I just call them the aspirational phase, the research phase, and then the transactional phase. And so for us, when we're talking to folks, it's pretty clear in the conversation that they're either thinking about moving, right? They've kind of had a discussion and they're like, yeah, we've decided that this is something we want to do. We're just not sure when we're going to do it or really what that looks like. It's just something we've decided we'd like to do at some point, right? In the aspirational phase, there's a lot of information that we can provide them with, but I think it's a question of, is it worth it for them to kind of go through some of those steps right now? Like as an example, every agent out there wants their buyers to get pre-approved as quickly as possible, right? So let's say that you and your wife are, eating dinner, and you're like, I think it's time to maybe make a move. We've been living in this house for blah blah blah. We need some more space. The money's there. Let's really start thinking about what that could look like. And so you go online that night and you start poking around. I mean, just to kind of, scratch the itch, to just see what's out there. You come across a property, you like it. You have to register your information in order to take a look at all the photos. And then you just start getting bombarded by agents with phone calls and texts and emails. I've had people tell me that they've figured out a way to go to their house and knock on their door. And they just feel like, man, they didn't know that they were in for that kind of borderline harassment. And so then they start talking to this agent, and then the agent wants them to go and get pre-approved for a loan. And they're like a year away from buying something. And it completely turns the buyer off to the process. Well, I mean, obviously, the agent should be more tactful, and there's a lot more that they could be doing to be a value add to that buyer at that point in time. But after the aspirational phase comes the research phase, where it's like, okay, well, we've got it in our minds that we want to move, and we've decided that we'd like to start putting this plan together. Where are we going to go? What are the different options out there? What are the neighborhoods like? What do I need to know about the areas? What do the homes in those areas look like? I think a lot of folks have a general idea of what they like and don't like, but I actually find it more helpful for people. And this only works with an agent that really understands Charleston. Let's be honest. But I like almost using the process of elimination better than the process of selection. And here's what I mean by that. And then we'll take a quick break and we'll keep chatting. And I'm going to provide you guys with some really important things that you need to know about not only this market, but about buying a home within it and who you use to do that. In fact, let's just take a quick break. We'll do that. We'll come back and we'll jump right back into it. Stick around. This is the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show right here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. And remember, if you want to reach out to me, you want to have a chat about working together, maybe just have a general question that you'd like answered, happy to help in any way. My number is 843-800-0065. That's 843-800-0065. Or go to our website, listingsincharleston.com. Stick around. We'll be right back.
It's the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. Broadcast Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday mornings at 10 on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA.